A very good evening, everyone. Welcome along for this evening's Magpies on Air. I am back in the hot seat. Pete Tscherewik alongside Ewan Murray. Ewan, here we are at the SEAH Stadium, otherwise known as New Bucks Head, for this evening's game between Telford and Chorley. What are your thoughts ahead of this one?
Yeah, it's a bit of a cold evening here in Telford. I think it should be probably quite a tough game maybe tonight for Charlie. Telford going to the game at the top of the form table, the National League North. 4 wins from the last 5 for them, but Charlie coming in 2 wins from the last 3. Obviously, a difficult game at the weekend against Radcliffe, which really could have gone either way. In the end, it was a really good goal from Radcliffe, which won the game. But I think today, Andy Priest's men will probably have the work cut out for them. But always an opportunity on the road to get 3 points, maybe.
Yeah, looking in terms of the both teams tonight, 4 changes for Andy Priest's team. Adam Henley comes in for Jack Moore, Owen German for Mike Calverley, Jack Sampson with his first start since returning from injury. He comes in at the expense of Tom Carr, and then it's Milan Lalkovic, the Slovakian winger. He comes in place of Anjola Papula. So a couple of people probably thinking, what's the thinking behind the team selection? But with the way that it is, you have to have a little bit of an eye on the weekend's game away at Bedford. And here come the two teams. Matt Irwin leading out the Magpies, surely in there away maroon strip. Telford in their all white strip, led out by a referee, Mr. Callum Jones. Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the SEAH Stadium for this evening's game between AFC Telford and AFC Telford United and Chorley. As I mentioned there, 4 changes tonight for the Magpies. Telford without their main man up front, Matt Stenson. I suppose missing out on him probably poses a bit of a test for Kevin Wilkin.
Yeah, of course. I mean, probably will be a big miss for Telford. We know how much Stenson could be much of a threat, but there's still a lot of attacking talent on that pitch. I think they only really have to look at the likes of Meadows and Williams on both wings. I do think Blakeman and Henley are going to have the work cut out tonight, especially more going back the other end, defensive wise rather than attacking wise. But it'd be interesting to see sort of how the game probably could be won and lost tonight on the wings. We've seen in the past few games, Blakeman's long throws have probably been the cause of most threat for Chorley. And if I recall correctly, I think one of our goals against Telford in the reverse picture came from one of his long throws. So maybe sign or possibility really that could be a way that Chorley could attack Telford tonight.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with that Chorley selection. Jack Sampson, it looks more than likely that he will lead the line on his own. Was it going to be Warren Clark over on the left, Milan Lalkovic over on the right? Just looking at how the teams are sort of setting themselves up ahead of the kickoff here, it does look like Chorley are going to set up in that way with Jack up front on his own. And listen, we all know what Jack Sampson can do. Well, I certainly do. You maybe not as much as me because unfortunately Jack's been injured for a lot of the season and the previous campaign. But when he's on song, he's as good as anyone in this league, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And we've probably seen the best and worst of Sample really this season. Obviously, I say the worst is maybe that injury record. It just isn't great at the minute. But the best of him, especially I think at the start of the season, this season he was on fire. I think it was 5 goals for the first 3 or 4 games. So we know when he's at his best. I think for me, he's definitely up there with one of the best strikers in the league. It's just whether or not he can get to that full fitness and can get scoring those goals again for Charlie. But I think we just see how that midfield works tonight with probably Taylor O'Kane sitting in as a more holding option, Max Wilson, Owen German ahead of him. They'll two, especially Max, we've seen, does like to get forward quite a bit. So I do think Wilson will probably provide Sampo with the support that he'll need.
Yeah, just seconds away from kicking off here. Surely you're going to get things underway through Taylor O'Kane. And like you say, Jack sometimes has his critics. He doesn't score many as, others in terms of he's not a Paul Black. He doesn't score 20 goals a season. But what he can do is he can bring others into the game. And interesting to see how he performs tonight as Surely do get us underway. O'Kane straight into Blakeman and down the field long. Telford under pressure early doors here. And like you say, Ewan, in terms of that form table, Telford come into it right at the top of it. They're certainly better team than they were when we played earlier on this season. One player who really stood out for me on that particular occasion was Reece Hilton out on the right. Now, he's on the bench tonight, and I'm just intrigued to see how they do set up, because I have heard comparisons that they play almost similarly to Merthyr, and straight away on the front foot here, down the right-hand side, Blakeman 1v1 towards the edge of the penalty area, comes off of Max Wilson, and Lalkovic misses his interception. Cranston's going to have a shot from the left, and it's behind the goal and out for a goal kick. And 52 seconds into the game, Ewan, Telford aren't messing around.
No, not at all. I think we've seen there already that the midfield, well, I said the midfield three, the more attacking three of Meadows, Walker, and Williams, is that three aren't afraid to interchange there whatsoever. We saw Meadows cutting in, Williams cutting in there quite far inside from the left-hand side, and then allowed Cranston to run off him. So it's going to be a very dynamic sort of three in midfield that they're playing here at the minute. Telford, as Irwin's going to send this goal kick forwards for Chorley.
Yeah, pumps it long onto the head of Max Wilson, and I always go back to that. I think it was after Telford away. Well, not Telford away. It was a game away when Andy Priest described Max Wilson as a man. And, 19 years of age now, just turned, and he certainly, you could just see, look, when we signed Max on loan, I had my reservations about him in the fact that he only really played at Galway, he hadn't really had too much senior experience under his belt, but you can just see, can't you, that he relishes the occasion, and playing men's football is doing him the world of good. Surely with a long throw here over the right-hand side, from where we sat, Blakeman over it, and it comes towards the head of Mark Ellis, who's inside the penalty box. Harvey Smith's gone down there, and a few appeals from Chorley.
Yeah, there's a
Referee
few
Callum Jones.
appeals from, I think it's Mark Ellis and Jack Sampson, as well as Harvey went down. Referee didn't even wave it away really, just looked at it and decided to let play continue.
Yeah, similar to what we had a few weeks ago, if you remember, Oliver Noonan, the referee against Southport. We had, 3 or 4 penalty appeals in the first half, and what struck me there was that the referee didn't signal anything, and Dyer just gifting the ball away there, hits on the foot of Warren Clark, but doesn't fall out to Jack Sampson. Milal Alkovic, the press is on here from Chorley. They've won the ball back really well. O'Kane, through the centre he travels, tries to find Warren Clark, but he has the ball pinched away from Dyer, and now the Bucks can try and counter themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's Dyer probably where he wants the ball there. Doesn't seem to be really a defensive fit in at right back if we first be going down the line. Had an opportunity there to come away with the ball, but Telford have decided to recycle it.
It feels like, you mentioned there, Ewan, in terms of Dyer, it was almost like he wants to play very much on the front foot. He'd rather be in the Chorley half than in the Telford half. Lalkovic has gone over to the right-hand side, so Jack Sampson is up front on his own. As you mentioned, O'Kane, kind of more of a sitter. Wilson playing just in front as almost a 10. Wilson, O'Kane's done well. Surely have started well here, haven't they, Ewan?
Yeah, definitely. And here's Warren Clark probably where he's at his best. I think it's Fletcher who's gone out wide to meet him rather than Dyer.
Across the face of goal towards Sampson and Clark, who I thought was the man of the match on Saturday against Radcliffe. Regardless of the result, I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I know that Taylor O'Kane was awarded the man of the match from Jenna Louise Salmon, who was the match sponsor, but for me, I thought Warren, I've often been full of praise of him this season. I feel like he puts in those 7s and 8s every week, but I felt like Saturday was more of a 9, not a 10, but certainly an 8.5, 9. And, that game against Radcliffe felt like a bit of a chess match, I said to Andy Priest, but I feel like tonight's got more potential to be a little bit more gung-ho, a bit more end-to-end, and we're seeing that already inside the first 5 minutes.
I feel like tonight will probably have a bit more, well, there'll be more opportunities tonight, especially. I think more so maybe because the pitch allows it, more so than what it would have been on Saturday, but Telford bringing the ball forward today. But I do think, well, it might be an offside flag there, I assume, yep. Yeah. But I do think...
My hand inadvertently went up with it. We've got a good view of it just behind where we're sat here, and you can hear a few of the Telford supporters beneath us, discouraged and disgruntled by that decision. But for me, the linesman made his decision early. He stuck to it, and it was the right one. The right idea from Telford, though. They're trying to get themselves in behind in those positions, and I think surely we're switched on and we're alive to the danger, and Irwin will punt free kick long towards Warren Clark, and Sampson's trying to get in behind there. He's asking a question to Callum Jones because I think he felt like he was being pulled, but goalkeeper Josh Gracie comes away with it, and now Fletcher, the captain's got the ball, plays it out to Dyer and Telford, trying to retain possession. It's time they go long and finds Mark Ellis back into the middle of the midfield, and viewing a little bit of a cheap foul that to give away from Max Wilson on halfway.
Unnecessary from Max, but Telford want to get underway straight away.
Yeah, no rest for the wicked, no chance for you to have a little sip of your Pepsi. Telford are saying, oh, came off the hand there of Cranston, but play continues, and fortunately Chorley have won the ball back. It was a slack pass from Cranston to give the ball away, and Ellis decided to go long, and Max Wilson's on the end of it. Sampson trying to pick up the pieces. The ball's played back to the goalkeeper, who's puts his hands down to say, let's keep it calm, but it's an interesting shape, isn't it? It's almost like Warren Clark's kind of, when he's being asked to press, he sits high, but I think that's what you're going to get with Warren. You're always going to get that up and down the field in terms of how he plays, but it's Telford having another one of these spells, Ewan, where they're just content to keep the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I really think, just touching on Warren again, I think when he does get one-on-one eventually with Dyer today, he'll relish it, because Dyer, even in the early stage there, looks a bit like he might struggle a bit when he's on the back foot.
Yeah, ball put into the box low from the left winger there, Williams, who put the ball in towards the penalty area. Now Telford slice a look there. Shot comes in, hits off the back of Mark Ellis. Henley's got to be alive to it. Down the left-hand side it goes. Shot comes in, and it's wide and behind for a goal kick. Is the lights around us
Yeah, I
have
think
just
it was
gone off.
Charlie Williams with the shot there. Probably should have got it on target. I mean, Telford are sort of turning the screw at the minute. They're the team who look most likely maybe to go and get that first goal of the game at the minute. They are the ones pushing forwards, but there's always a threat here for Charlie with the amount of players that or bodies that Telford bring forward. Charlie can very easily maybe hit him on the counter attack, especially looking at probably Warren Clark and Milan Larkovic on the wings. Both fullbacks pushing very high, in particular Dyer. That is where Charlie can probably try and expose this Telford team.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what we've seen in this opening 8 minutes is that Telford they haven't clicked yet. They're giving away the ball. They're giving away easy bits of possession. They're trying to get it to stick. It's not sticking. When they do get it right, they're going to be a danger. They're going to be a threat. At this moment in time, as I said, Chorley, by no means of weathering a storm. They're very much in the game here. It's not a case of Telford dominating. They just haven't clicked yet. Chorley, like I say, I've had the threats. But
We're
again,
seeing
where they've got it, the upper hand, I think at the moment for me, I don't know how you see it, but it's just these little periods where they have 20 or 30 seconds where they just go left to right to left to right, just keeping the ball and then almost trying to drag you out.
Yeah, they're a team that are very comfortable just keep the ball inside their own half and work it. I think you said it off air before. They're a similar sort of team to Merthyr in that sense, where they well, they're not gonna panic on the ball. They're gonna be quite as calm as possible. It's a bit of a maybe potentially late one there from Clark on Pigott. Once again, they'll Telford start instantly with a quick free kick.
Yeah, here comes Meadows, and what interests me is the Telford manager, Gavin Wilkin, obviously was with Brackley once upon a time. As Meadows gets inside beyond the the referee wasn't sure, and he's giving a goal kick. And the referee, Callum Jones, looked like he was guessing there. I think, for me personally, I think Chorley would. Oh, caught napping there, Ewan. I think the ball came across the face, and it was like the Chorley defenders who were back there didn't know which of them were the ones to be responsible for the move. It was like one of you needs to put your body on the line here, or one of you needs to put a foot in to clear the ball here. And they couldn't decide which one to do it. In the end, the ball's in the hands of Matt Irwin. He's going to take the resulting goal kick. But yeah, as I say, Kevin Wilkin, when he was at Brackley, was by no means a possession-based manager, but certainly here with Telford, seems very different. Irwin goes long with the goal kick onto the head of Sampson. German trying to get involved. And again, Telford go back into their own half and try to recycle and reset. Here comes Cranston, finds Charlie Williams.
Long ball, probably the first long ball we've seen from Telford, and goes straight out for a throw.
Yeah, good evening, Oren. You, I would say, made the right decision tonight, staying in the four walls of your own home rather than sitting here in the deep depths, the cold of Shropshire, because it is freezing cold out here. And
Yeah, it's not the best conditions maybe to be sat still in also. Um, I'm sure a lovely win on the road wouldn't go amiss tonight to make us feel a bit warmer.
yeah, certainly. And interesting was saying off air, wasn't I, that I brought my thermals in my bag, and of all the places I went and got changed, it was in the referee's room. Fortunately, the referee wasn't in the room, but Paul Carter, our secretary, having been at Telford, said, "Listen, you go in there." We had a chat. Oh, Stacey there's giving the ball away, maybe with an experience showing there. Sampson tries to flick it in towards Max Wilson, but that for me, Ewan, is quite similar to how Telford have started in that there's a bit of a slack ball from Blake's into Sampo. Sampo wasn't really switched on to it, and
It's just not sticking at the minutes of Sampo whenever he tries to control it. I think maybe he's taking him a bit of time, maybe to just come to the pace of the game in a minute. It's just not every time that the ball comes into him, he's just not able to get it to stick to his feet like he usually can. I think Blake Manir with his first opportunity from this side of the pitch to send a long throw into the box. Both Mark Ellis and Harvey Smith have gone forward. Sampo's in there as well.
yeah, just trying to get a few yards further up the pitch. Here comes the throw. Ellis was nearly on the end of it. Harvey Smith trying to use his body to get in between it. And now Telford themselves have got a chance on the counter.
Warren
Really good
Clarkson really
defending
well
from
there.
Warren there, and Blake decides to play the territorial ball towards Sampson. Put birthday boy Piggott under pressure. Flag is up though.
Yeah, and I think had Alan Hadley been able to get that ball under control there, there's a real threat on because I think it might have been Williams who was running through the middle. He hadn't been trapped by Charlie Runner and it would have been a 3-on-1 there. But in the end, Warren Clark did really well there to win the ball back to prevent the Telford counter-attack. Telford once again playing it out from the back.
Yeah, Ewan, we've had a question in the chat. What's your opinion on the manager's opinion on the National League giving us so many long away games in a row? Well, it's an interesting discussion to be had on that, because when the fixtures were released, the game against Bedford and Spennymoor were already originally in the calendar. This game was rearranged as a result of Telford's involvement in the FA Trophy, and the National League have got a stance in which they've said that they want games to be rearranged for as soon as possible. So this was the first available date in which this game was available to be played. I know that Andy Priest wanted a later date, a different date, but the league went off the basis that the game needs to be played sooner rather than later. Similarly with Alfreton Town, we wanted to play that game in April, but the league were not allowing teams to rearrange in April. Good play that from Larkovic. He's won the ball back, and now Chorley can try and bring the ball forward. O'Kane has gone and dropped his shoulder and gone back to Matt Irwin, who plays it wide. And you just feel maybe that's with a struggle. The ball's bounced over there. Telford defender let the ball bounce, and it nearly, Ewan, went to his demise, didn't it? Sampson nearly got in behind there.
Yeah, it was the Venezuelan defender Oliver Cawthorne. I think that's a new one, but yeah, he allowed it to bounce there, and I think for a split second we both thought that maybe Sampson might have been able to get there ahead of him, but Venezuelan centre back managed to recover well. I think our physio Dan Tatasov's coming on the pitch here, just have a quick assessment of Milan Lalkovic. He was holding his face then for a split second, but I think Milan will be okay.
What I do like about this ground is it's one of the very few where the press area is on the opposite side to the dugout, because we are so accustomed to be able to hear what the staff are saying, what the management is saying, what Priest is saying, especially at Victory Park when they're right below you. Here, we've both got headsets on. We can't hear a word of what's coming out, and I feel a little bit of FOMO, really. I want to know what's being said and what's going on, but We can certainly hear quite a few Telford fans around us, just below us. The Chorley supporters, incidentally, are sat sort of to our right. We can't. Oh, I could just about see some of them. I can't hear them again because of the headsets. But I think a few of them have travelled tonight. Every credit to them on a Tuesday night, on a school night in half term. And they'll be hoping for the same result as us, want you for 3 points, or at least, as Andy Priest put it, something out of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the minute, this is probably the toughest place you can go in the league, maybe bar Macclesfield in terms of form. So that's to be a really good performance today to come away with something as Blakeman's coming really well.
And that's probably the fourth or fifth time now that Blakeman, he keeps using Sampson as the out ball. He's trying to knock on the door, put that ball through to him.
Just think it's difficult for Sampson at the minute because if he does manage to get that ball to stick eventually, which I mean it's difficult enough, he's up against two centre backs on his own. But if he does, or when he does, he's not really going to have anyone up there with him because Charlie is sat quite deep at the minute whenever Telford have got the ball. So I'm not too sure whether he needs possibly Max Wilson to maybe stay a bit higher, act as a sort of not second striker, but more of a number 10. Give Sampo that option when the ball does eventually come to him, to his feet.
It's just, well, again, another free kick given against Chorley there. Sampson sort of looks a bit bemused about that, and he's no hurry to give them the ball back, and quite cleverly stops the free kick from being taken as quickly as they'd have liked it. But here comes Amar Dyer again down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Telford having much of the possession at the minute. Meadows has come deep here on the right hand side to receive the ball. He'll go inside to his captain in Fletcher. Fletcher goes out the other side to Cranston. Lalkovic trying to marshal Cranston here, but he'll come inside. Bit of a loose pass that. I think from
What I
Remy
would say as
Walker,
well,
but still keep the
about
ball.
about Chorley tonight as well is the fact that we do have options on the bench in Mike Carvely, Tom Carr, Jack Moore, and Joel Papula, just to name a few. Is if we are in this game with 60 minutes on the clock, then we do have options available to be able to bring onto the bench. Dyer here to the byline, comes off of Irwin's arm. Thought for a second that the ball had gone out of play, and Sampson, his touch is a little bit heavy. The referee telling Meadows to go and take us. Yeah, I think it's one of those that if Chorley are in the game, they certainly have a stronger hand because I think they've got a stronger bench than Telford. It's not a case of, though, can they weather the storm for 60, 70 minutes? It's just going to be nice that if they're either in the game or if they're chasing the game or if they're in front, they've got ample options available. And in terms of the selection, Ewan, do you think some of it is, again, down to the fact that Andy Priest has got to try and shuffle the pack, rest a few players and think about Saturday's trip to Bedford?
Well, probably you think so. Maybe going into that Bedford game, you see it as more of a, I don't know, without any disrespect to Bedford, probably an easier game to go into and try and get 3 points. At the minute, though, Charlie are having to sort of weather this Telford storm. They come forward again here, the Bucks.
And then again, Lalkovic tries to get the ball forwards, and there's just not much of an outball. And some of that is, unfortunately, because Sampson's kind of all up there on his own. There's not an awful lot around him. Surely, though, I have to say, have done a good job so far of almost swarming around the Telford players and nullifying the threat. Meadows forced to go long with a cross in towards Alan Hadley up front. Ellis heads it away, but they're coming again here, Telford. Incidentally, in National League North, no goals have gone in just yet, so all 4 games, including this one, remain goalless.
I'm not overly convinced that the Telford players are really confident in Alan Hadley at the minute. They're not they seeming to be reluctant to give him the ball whenever he goes into the box. Not sure whether they trust him maybe in front of goal. As obviously he's not the number one striker, but they're not really giving him the ball at the minute when he's making a few decent runs, which I've noticed quite well, probably about 2 or 3 times now.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, didn't you? They haven't got their number one, the main man up front. Stenson, he's out suspended. Got a 2-game ban which starts tonight. He is at the game this evening. I have seen him already, but I know being frustrated, but Alan Hadley, he doesn't. I'm looking at him compared to Mark Ellis, and there's a definite height difference there. You can just see him
Yeah,
there.
you can
You
see
and
him. He's frustrated. He's a frustrated figure at the
yeah,
minute.
he just sort of. For those of you listening, he just sort of just had a bit of a tantrum to himself. Really, is Lalkovic there trying to play the ball through to split the Telford defence through to Wilson, and cut out by the goalkeeper in the end. And again, Telford trying to be fluid. The ball then that time they did try and find Alan Hardley, but no joy. And Blakeman again will find Sampson on the counter, and surely will try and build themselves. Wilson finds Lalkovic here. Chorley trying to control a bit of the play, control some possession. Good evening, Jeff. Hope you're well. Oh, and Lalkovic has given the ball away cheaply, and now there is a chance for Alan Hadley to run it. Mark Ellis is in behind it. Alan Hadley shoots and scores, and that's clinical from Telford. Lalkovic gifted the ball to the box, and all of a sudden, one transitional move. Alan Hadley got the better of Mark Ellis in terms of his pace, and Telford have the lead. 22 minutes gone. It's AFC Telford United 1, Chorley 0.
Yeah, it's poor from Larkovic. I couldn't really see. I couldn't make out which Telford player it was who he gave the ball away to, but it's a good through ball into Alan Hadley. He's putting a foot race with Mark Ellis, and really, there's only going to be one winner there. Alan Hadley runs through 1-on-1, shows good composure, and finishes well into the bottom corner. Matt Owen's furious with that, and I think you have to say probably rightly so. I'm not too sure what Larkovic was thinking there, but Telford's pressure has paid off here, and it's them who get the early lead.
It's just frustrating because surely we're growing into the game there, and Lalkovic just gives the ball away, gives possession, and Telford they've lacked that cutting edge in the first 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, first shot on goal, surely you're behind.
I mean, we were saying as well, Alan Hadley looked like a frustrated figure. Well, that's not going to be that's no longer going to be the case at all. He's now been played through and he's scored with his first chance of the game. So I think now Chorley probably got to try and push forward a few more yards forwards here. Try and put the onus on Telford to try and deal with a few Chorley attacks rather than just trying to nick the ball off Telford and hit him on the counter attack. Chorley maybe need to take the initiative here and try and control the game a bit.
Yeah, and I think, with no disrespect to Jack Sampson, if you put Jack Sampson in that situation, surely probably don't score from it because Alan Hadley, what he has got, what he lacks in a little bit of height in terms of just looking down from where we're sat, he's probably about 5'11", 6 foot-ish. He stood next to Mark Ellis. I'm trying to just do a bit of judgment, but he had a real burst of pace there, didn't he? Ellis just couldn't keep up with him. He picked his spot clinically, bottom of the corner, and Irwin's scratching his head thinking, how the hell have we conceded from that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think credits to the player, whoever it was who sent the free ball through. I want to say it was Charlie Williams, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. But it was a really good through ball, sort of picked apart Harvey Smith and Mark Ellis, and in the end, Alan Hadley didn't make any mistake and slotted it away. But Telford instantly trying to look for a second here as Irwin comes out and claims the ball.
I think you've got to be in this situation as well. You've got to be aware, like you say, that Telford are the informed team in this league. They've got one goal. Let's give them a game, but we don't want to go too behind. We don't want it to become a bloodbath. Telford could smell bloody, but so could Chorley in that. Oh, I thought Lalkovic may have got a corner there, and the Telford fans are almost mocking Milan for his appeals that it should have been a corner.
I think it says a lot when the two other Charlie players near to me, with Jack Sampson and Warren Clark, weren't appealing at all. So I think maybe the linesman and the referee have probably got that decision correct.
Yep. So 25 minutes gone here at the SEAH Stadium. It's Telford 1, Chorley 0. Dylan Hadley's goal the difference at the moment. And surely, like you say, you need to sort of up the ante a little bit here.
Yeah, I just think Charlie need a bit more of the ball. I think they come into the game probably with the plan of trying to hit Telford on the break, as I've said a few times, but at the minute, I think they just need to try and force a few issues themselves, try and put Telford on the back foot, see how they react to not having much of the ball for maybe like a 5-10 minute spell.
I think what I will say though, just touching on the goal again, is it was a really well taken goal from Dylan Hadley. He finished it off really smartly. He had, for what, as we said, was a really frustrated figure. He took it with real conviction, didn't he? He took it really confidently, and again, a player who's not first choice here at Telford, for him to come in, his manager Kevin Wilkin will be looking at that thinking, do you know what? If my player, probably my best player, gives away his availability to suspension, then look what I can offer us. Telford very nearly in again there. Chorley gifted the ball away again. It was Mark Ellis that time, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. I think Mark Ellis was sold short there by a Lalkovic pass. Dylan Hadley got there ahead of him, ran through, and then it's his ball across, which is put behind for a corner by Blakeman. But yet again, I think Chorley, and particularly Lalkovic in a minute, just being a bit too lax in possession when he gets the ball. Maybe not right up to speed with the game at the minute without trying to get on his back. But
I
Telford have
think it
got a
was one of
corner
those
here.
where that very quickly could have been 2-0, and it was very quick. I couldn't even, I was still in my previous conversation. It just came out of absolutely nothing as the corner is taken. Irwin can claim that one quickly, and he wants to get on with it quickly as well. He's saying, oh, look, get higher, get moving. I want to get on with this.
It's going to have to be quick here because the referee's countdown was going down imminently there, but he sends it forwards. Warren Clark's taking a bit of a central role here. It's going to drop for Lalkovic. It's a bit of a poor knock on, but Lalkovic battles away and he shoots. Oh. Better though. From Milan, chance created all by himself, really, there, you have to say. Sort of flicks it up in the air, then gets it. He's up against Cawthorne. Cawthorne's probably got about half a foot on him in terms of size, but Lalkovic wants to shrug him off, flick it up again, hits it on the volley. It goes a bit wide, but probably Charlie's best opportunity of the game so far.
Yeah, and what I would say on that is, listen, your goal behind. What you've got to do now is you've got to test that goalkeeper. You've got a young goalkeeper in goal in Josh Gracie, and you know you've got to test him. You've got to ask him a question. And now here comes Max Wilson. He's being forced to go wider by Cranston. Support's coming, but he taps it against. Look at Charlie Williams. He was coming back, and surely he'll have to settle for the long throw over on that far side, the right side, from where we are sat.
Yeah, third long throw in against it, taken by Blakeman. First contact hasn't been made by either Harvey Smith or Mark Ellis, so they'll be looking to make the first contact here.
Blakeman from that left full-back position that he's over on the right. He's going to take it. Here it comes. Ellis is the target. It's on by Ellis. In towards the penalty. Onto Sampson. On target and held by Gracie. It very nearly fell out to Taylor O'Kane, didn't it, Ewan? And that's what Chorley can offer in terms of threat from a set piece.
Yeah, I was talking about getting that first contact. Ellis gets the first contact, goes to Sampson. Sampson had to try and generate the whole power himself, and in the end, it's a comfortable save for Gracie in goal, but it's better though for Charlie.
It was better from Chorley, but like I say, I felt that Gracie, it was fairly comfortable, but I looked at it and I didn't think he was that comfortable in terms of. It very nearly went to O'Kane. Jack Sampson's going to go for goal.
Oh, I thought they were in then.
Oh my God. I have absolutely nothing. The ball, it was nearly like nestled into the back of the net. And the way Gracie was so slow to get up, I think he almost thought it went in. Jack Sampson on the half turn took it very early, hits it on the half volley, and it's just wide, nearly nothing. Was even Stevens.
It's a real good effort out from Sampson. I think it must have just gone narrowly wide. I thought it was in there because I saw the back of the net bulge when it hit the advertising board and behind the goal and hit the net. But real good effort from Sampson. And all of a sudden here, Charlie had the team in the ascendancy, you have to say.
He took it so early.
Yeah, Grace was caught off guard. He was scrambling across his goal there to try and get to it. But I do think early signs, I know he hasn't been really thoroughly tested, the man in goal for the Bucks, but early signs are maybe could be a bit shaky at the minute. Warren Clark wins it high up the pitch. He's one-on-one with Dyer. Max Wilson.
So from Chorley, as you say, ball across the face towards Sampson. He's there. Oh, across the face of goal. It's still alive in there, and there will be a Chorley corner, and the goalkeeper, he's absolutely livid with that.
Yeah, you know what? I think maybe in that position, there was definitely contact made on Sampson. Maybe if he goes down, he asks, asks the question to the referee, possibly be a penalty because he loses his foot in there. Sampos, he's going with the ball because otherwise he'd have shot straight away. But looks as though there's contact maybe on his trailing leg. He decides to stay on his feet. Very honest with it, but
Yeah, he was waiting almost for it, but not waiting. He hesitated, didn't he? Here comes that corner in towards Ellis. He's trying to get on the end of it. Max Wilson then does find a head on it. Now Owen German. Blakeman's there on the left-hand side. Takes delivery first time with a cross. Still alive. Shot coming in first time. Oh, and again, it's just right. Owen German this time on the volley. Whisker away. I think Gracie may have had it covered, but maybe the Chorley players had heard what I said about getting shots off, trying to test the goalkeeper, because certainly in the last 3 or 4 minutes we've had a fair few.
yeah, that's a real good connection up by German. Just meets it on the volley, headed away to the edge of the box, meets it on the box, sort of runs onto it from left to right, hits it. A lot of power behind the shot. I do think Gracie may have had it covered, but just whistles just wide of the post. But yet again, as we say, Charlie in the ascendancy here. Telford seems to have taken the foot off the gas in the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's an interesting viewpoint from where we're sat here, because you do sometimes think that, the one from Sampson, you thought that was close, and you look at one from German, I think that was probably easy to see that it was going wide. But there's certainly positive signs for Andy Priest to look at in terms of how his side have responded to going behind. No,
Telford's response here from Charlie sort of onslaught in the past couple of minutes is just try and take the sting out of the game, keep the ball to themselves like they were doing early on here. The ball sent forward by Piggott looking for Dyer. Harvey Smith should get there, and he does.
Warren Clark is just left flat-footed there by the turf, as Monaco have doubled their lead at home against PSG in the Champions League. This goal is the only goal that's gone in so far in the 4 games in the National League North.
Charlie get their first free kick of the game there with the push in the back of Lalkovic from, I think, Remy Walker. As we say, though, positive signs off for Charlie in the past, well, since going a goal down, really. Probably been the better team. Now it's just a question of can they try and carve out one of those, a real good opportunity, maybe inside the box, rather than the good efforts from outside of it on the volley so far.
Sampson there finds Max Wilson. He just can't get on the end of it, and Adam Henley very nearly let Charlie Williams in behind. Henley hasn't really gotten into the game an awful lot, has he, so far, and he hasn't had as much joy as Blakeman in terms of the out ball, in terms of just having the ball on his side. A lot of the play from Telford has gone through Amar Dyer on that right wing, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Henderson doesn't get forward as much as Blakeman does anyway, really. But I think in particular with Lalkovic cutting in more so than Warren Clark does, it could be really important for Henley to get forwards on that right and provide an option on the overlap maybe more so than what Blakeman would do on the left.
Cranston being tested here by Max Wilson over on that far side, where Simon surely will have a throw ahead. He's with the ball in his hands at the moment. So, I'm having trying to beat other people. Where did that come from?
I think there's a bot. Well, I think Telford cleared the lines from the Chorley throw in, goes up in the air towards halfway. Mark Ellis misses it in the air, and from there forwards, it's Dylan Hadley able to run through. one-on-one really with Harvey Smith. He runs through, goes round Harvey Smith. It's too quick for Harvey Smith in truth, and then pretty much a carbon copy of the first goal. Runs through one-on-one with Matt Irwin and slots it near post, low down to the near post. And it's a good finish again from Alan Hadley. And yeah, Telford probably against the run of play this time for that second one. They've doubled the leader.
Again, it just when you level with Smith, he just had a little bit of extra gear where he just had that extra 5%, and it was enough to beat Harvey Smith. And again, picked his spot nicely and felt it suited with it.
Yeah, as Charlie plays down, I think it might be Owen German here who's gone down. Referee signalling for the physio to come on.
Pretty frustrated again. They didn't necessarily give the ball away, did they? But just a very quick moving.
I think it's two goals which come from two Charlie errors. The first one, obviously, Laukovic gave the ball away on halfway. This time, Ellis misses his clearance. But yeah, I mean, probably two avoidable goals, you'd say, looking back on them. But you can't take anything away from Alan Hadley, who's done really well to run through, clean through one-on-one both times, he's beaten both defenders now for pace when he's run through, and then slotted it past Matt Irwin really well. Irwin's had no chance at all with either goals. So
Irwin will be left really frustrated with that. Yeah, the reason the mic was quiet, I accidentally had knocked it and muted myself. So thanks for drawing that to our attention. Apologies. I don't know if you lost my commentary for the goal, but thanks for letting us know in any case. Telford up to 6, 2 points behind Radcliffe in 4th with the game in hand. And, you know, it hasn't been a polar opposite in terms of Telford haven't dominated, have they? They haven't been far and above. They've just been clinical, haven't they? They've had 2 chances on the counter and they've converted both. And so you have to give credit to them for it. But as you say, Ewan, Chorley will be frustrated and feel like they could have done better for both.
yeah, I think the difference is really is that Charlie have had two mistakes and Telford haven't really had any yet. Both goals coming from two mistakes from Charlie for both Telford goals. Telford looking really comfortable in possession whenever they get the ball, and credit to him. I mean, they're just playing around the Charlie press with ease at the minute. Say that Dyer's missed touch that goes out for a Charlie throw, but that's probably been the difference between the two teams. Telford seem a lot more comfortable in possession than Charlie do at this moment in time. As Blakeman sends a throw down the line, it's headed away.
Still a long way to go. We all know what happened away at Darlington in the opening day of the season. Surely came from behind to win on that particular day. You just don't know, but you just feel like Telford aren't going to let you in as much as maybe other teams would in this league,
No,
especially
but
off the way that they've been playing recently.
we also can't forget that we were 2-0 down away at Merthyr as well. So, anything can happen, and I wouldn't put it past him. There's been a few half chances for Charlie where they've come close to scoring so far. I think, in particular, after going a goal down, Charlie were the better team for a good 10-15 minutes or so. It's just that second goal seems to have taken maybe a bit of the wind out of the Magpies' sails for now, but it's definitely not been a poor half in terms of performance from Charlie by any means.
Larkovic's trying to bring the ball forward, and Max Wilson's on the end of it now. Warren Clark, maybe a chance here for Surely if they can counter quickly. Here goes Warren Clark. He's got the better of Dyer, goes for goal and spoons it over the crossbar. He's gone down holding he's holding the back of his calf.
Yeah, well, I've said a lot of times in this first half that once Warren Clark gets the ball, he needs to run at Dyer really on the left-hand side. Dyer's not a natural defender, and he had to beat him with him there. It's just I think he took the shot on a bit too early. He could have maybe gone an extra couple of yards or so in the box. He's leaning back and it goes well over, but maybe Charlie need to just exploit that a bit more on this left-hand side because Warren's going to have to beat at Dyer 9 times out of 10. He's come away with the ball here again.
Here comes Taylor O'Kane towards the edge of the penalty area, and Telford get a little bit of rub of the green, get the ball back, and then Ellis is under pressure from Alan Hardley. Larkovic has
shot by
done well.
Larkovic.
German trying to spin one round the corner, but again, Telford trying to get the sting out of it. Chorley trying to respond quickly here. Blakeman now with an opportunity. Apologies there, just tried to sneeze and sneezed myself in the process. Henley down the right towards Larkovic. He's gone down.
Well, I think it's a corner.
The referee has, well, the linesman signalled. The referee looked like he wasn't sure, but eventually, referee Callum Jones has signalled for a corner kick. 42 minutes gone here, still remains AFC Telford United 2, Chorley 0. Chorley looking to respond quickly here before half-time.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity again. They've looked threatening from set pieces so far, Chorley. It's an in-swinger for Blakeman as well.
Here he comes, in swing it comes, all the way over towards the back post. It's headed by Ellis, and it's actually gone back to Blakeman. I think Ellis was trying to head it back across goal for a Chorley player to meet it, but it ended up going all the way back to Blakeman and behind for another one.
I mean, it's one that I'm going to have to watch back, but from my angle here, it looks as though it may have been going over the line now, and Ellis may have inadvertently headed it away from goal. It's put in again, it's punched away this time from Gracie.
He comes Blakeman with a cross this time, and Gracie punches it as far as Max Wilson, who goes for a goal, and now Telford will try and counter themselves. Warren Clark's got to be on the end of that one, and he has done really well.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not overly sure, but it looks as though Blakeman's corner was going to go right on the goal line there, and Ellis has got it all wrong with his connection. I'm not too sure if it was going to go over the line or not, but he seems to, I think as you said, probably might try and head it back towards, well, back across goal. Maybe aiming for the goal, but it just goes all the way back to Blakeman, really. I think a bit of a missed opportunity there for Chorley.
Quite possibly. It was just the one from me from Ellis. Maybe I'm wrong from where we sat again. The viewpoint can be a bit misleading, and it just looked to me like Ellis headed it across the face. Lesher Bella on the ball here, and he's a player that I'm keeping my eye on tonight. I'm really impressed with him in the reverse fixture. He hasn't had an awful lot of the ball in the game so far, but just very calm, cool and collected in possession as the ball's back with Dyer on the right, and he decides to go back to birthday boy Jordan Piggott. Dyer's giving away possession to Taylor O'Kane. It's chatted down by Sampson, back to O'Kane. Larkovic is now on the left-hand side instead. Looks like he's swapped with Warren Clark for the time being at least.
Yeah, O'Kane's getting further forwards now, I've noticed, since going 2 goals down. Max Wilson now in a bit of pocket of space.
A good ball that wasn't it to find Max, and now he's got the ball back again. When German's offering the option further back, and that's the thing though, is Telford are forcing Chorley to go backwards. So not being allowed possession, and it has to go, well, I was going to say it has to go all the way back to Owen, but Smith then did find Ellis. Ball over from Ellis, and Sampson is lying in wait, but it ends up with Henley, who's allowed to get the ball. Now to Taylor O'Kane, and Taylor's giving away the ball, and now Telford will try for the third time tonight to try and break quickly on the counter. Here is Meadows. Into the captain Fletcher. Now Meadows again. Ball in behind again to Alan Hadley. Chance for a hat-trick. Goes for goal. He's in the mood. He could have played it across the face, but instead he went for the hat-trick and he fired it wide.
Yeah, it's a good play by Fletcher again in midfield for Telford. He slips in. Alan Hadley, obviously on a hat-trick, he's always going to go for goal there himself. Angle's tight, tries to send it across goal, looking for that far post, just a bit too much. Well, not enough curve on it really for it to go back inside the post. A lot of power on it. Flies just wide. But once again, it comes from Chorley giving the ball away in the middle of the park that time. Taylor O'Kane, who got dispossessed.
That's been the most impressive thing for me. Is that Telford, when they've got the ball back, and they've won the ball back and forced the error. Been clinical. It's been really clinical in how they play, how they approach it, how
Yeah, you can see how they've had so much success in recent weeks. They're just ruthless. Whenever they get the ball in an attacking position, absolutely ruthless. They don't, you know, almost every mistake that Charlie had done tonight, and there's only been a handful, has been punished.
Andy Priest will be the first one to tell you that, if you make a mistake in this league, you can get punished. And that's what in some ways, that's what the better teams will do to you, isn't it? That's what the teams who are at that top end of the table, the teams who are in that good, rich vein of form, that's what they'll do. And that's what Telford have done. The top of the form team for a reason. Chorley have made 2 errors and Telford have punished them with them both. Dylan Hadley, he really fancies it, doesn't he? I think maybe because he's beaten Ellis once and he's beaten Smith once, he thinks, you know what, why can't I go and get that hat-trick?
Well, I mean, we're thinking to himself now, why not? I mean, a bit of a half chance, his third chance there in truth, but at the minute, every time that Telford are getting the ball on those fast breaks, it's looking as though they could score every time.
And listen, make no mistake about it, we knew that coming into this game it was going to be a tough test on the road. As you mentioned, probably the toughest that you could probably face at this moment in time. And the hosts have reaped the rewards as the half-time whistle is blown by referee Callum Jones. Ewan work to do going in at the break. It's going to be an interesting second 45, isn't it? We've done it before. Can we do it again? We'll soon find out. We're going to go and grab 15 minutes break, probably blow my nose, have a sneeze, have a cough, and keep out in the cold. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, everybody, for the second half of this evening's game between Telford and Chorley. Telford 2 goals to the good at the break, thanks to Dylan Allen Hadley, who twice put the Magpies to the sword, if you will. Even doesn't look like Andy Priest is going to make any changes at the break. So my question to you is, how did Chorley get themselves back into this one quickly?
Well, quickly they've probably just got to try and push a few more bodies forwards. We saw that when they went 1 goal down initially. Just maybe try and pile the box a bit, get a few balls into the box. We've seen really that Gracie in goal for Telford doesn't look overly convincing when the ball's put in the air towards him. So a few balls maybe towards him. And the ball's angle towards Jack Sampson. Could maybe see Charlie try and get a goal back here, but it is integral here for Charlie that they probably start on the front foot here in the second half and more importantly don't go down by 3 goals early on.
I think Andy Priest will have delivered a clear message at half time and said, look, there's still a game here. We can still get something out of this game, but you need to do something quickly. If it gets to the sort of 60-minute mark, 65-minute mark, then the game starts to take itself even further away from you. And I can't imagine he'll be best pleased going in at the break with how things have gone. So he's probably laid it into the players a little bit. As some football manager, you throw the water bottle, and he's probably done a bit of that. And he has to hope that his side reacts after the restart.
Yeah, and I think it'd be even more disappointed that both goals came from, well, avoidable mistakes as well in that first half. So we're telling his players just to be a bit more confident in possession, try and look forwards rather than backwards at the minute.
The referee Callum Jones gets us back underway, and straight away Telford go back to their goalkeeper, who pings it long towards Alan Hadley, and Adam Henley put under pressure, and he hits the ball long towards Sampson. Working away at the Venezuelan centre half. Ellis leaving one on Alan Hadley there, and German comes away with the ball, finds Lalkovic back to Henley, and bit of ball and nothing there, but German can pick it up away, and Sampson on halfway. He's trying to get things going for Chorley. Warren Clark, left-hand side, pans Owen German. This is better from Chorley. German twists, turns, puts it across the face into the hands of Gracie. But that was better, wasn't it, Ewan?
Yeah, definitely. Probably one of the first times I've seen Sampson be able to get into his feet and bring an extra player into play there. He spreaded the play out wide to Blakeman. Blakeman into Warren Clark, and then German was running across him. Good run that from the midfielder in on loan from Altrincham, but not the cross that he would have wanted. And it was easy enough to claim for Gracie in goal. The ball's just gone out for a throw-in on the touchline a few yards behind us here on this right-hand side. Henley will take.
And I think Chorley needs to do better at that, almost the territorial side of the game. If they're going to get throw-ins like this, then they need to give themselves an extra 5 yards to try and gradually get higher up the pitch.
Well, we're seeing there's a high press here from Telford, and that should mean that there should be some gaps in midfield if Charlie can play through it.
Sampson in behind here, goes for goal, on target, but he's offside.
Yeah, I think it was Cawthorne who played a bit of an offside. Cawthorne and Piggott were on the same wavelength there to try and play the offside trap. Sampson fell for it. Just timed his run a bit too late. But yet again, Charlie though started off the second half the better side.
Williams under pressure from Lalkovic and Henley. After the ball's gone, the referee gives the free kick against Lalkovic. Former Chelsea youngster Milan Lalkovic, now in his 30s. A lot of EFL experience with the likes of Portsmouth and Walsall. Used that experience, but in that instance, the referee didn't agree with him and has given Telford a free kick just inside their own half. Cranston. Delivery from the free kick gives it away to Warren Clark, and he then gives away the ball to Telford, and they can't keep the ball in, and Chorley will have a throw pretty much on halfway, Ewan. And again, it just feels like one of those where Chorley Need to keep on huffing, keep on puffing, and eventually something might come of it.
Yeah, I don't think Telford have started the second half strongly at all. It's a tough one that for Samson. He's gone down. It's a head injury here for Samson. He's taking the ball right into the side of his head there.
Yeah, should we doctor game? I'm going to ask for an update on a couple of players. I can tell you now that Scott Wilson, he's not far away, probably another week or two. Joe Nolan, probably 2 or 3 weeks for him. Cole Hall, haven't heard anything on him for a little while. Excuse me. Tom Walker as well. He's going to be missing for a couple of weeks. He's still struggling, and so is Harry Ibbotson. So the injuries continue to mount, and again, I will mention it to Andy Priest after the game this evening, with regards to any players who are missing this evening, and whether we can expect any of them back either this weekend or next Tuesday away at Spennymoor. The games don't get any easier, do they, Ewan?
No, not at all. I mean, it's that period of the season really where games are coming in thick and fast. Obviously, within a 7 day period, having to travel to the likes of Telford, Bedford, and Spennymoor, all within a week of each other, is going to be tough for any team, regardless of where you are in the league at all. So it's a tough task for the players, but it's a strong group, and hopefully we can come away with a few points from it. As Warren Clark looks to battle to win it high up here, he's still putting the press on. Piggott has to go back to his keeper.
Yeah, Lalkovic trying to get the better of his opposite number now. Telford will try and come forward. It's Amar Dyer down the right. Beats the challenge of Max Wilson, still going Dyer. This is where he's at his best on the front foot. Out of the penalty area, shot was going to come in there, but for a really good challenge by Adam Henley. And now Chorley will try and counter themselves, but it's just not as easy for Chorley, is it? Telford seem to almost have
No, and
just
Lalkovic, I think rightly so there, is not happy because German comes over the ball there for Chorley and he gives it to Warren Clark. He's got 2 men on him. Lalkovic had actually peeled away and was through here on the right hand side. Cranston had switched on. Cranston slotted into to make a sort of back two with Cawthorne at the back. Lalkovic was the ball there, I thought, for German to play it into. And Lalkovic had a quick word there with Owen saying, "Why have you not given it to me? Why have you given it to Warren?" But Telford now with the ball
oh,
again.
great turn from Williams in behind. Is telling the Hadley. Henley puts a foot in. And he's given a free kick to Telford. I think Adam Henley's going to be cautioned for the challenge. Yeah, yellow card for Adam Henley for the challenge on Alan Hadley. And that's the first booking of the evening. 51 minutes gone here. It's still AFC Telford United 2, Chorley 0. And Adam Henley is in the book
Yeah, it
for
was a
that
late one there from
late
Henley.
lunch.
Late one there on Henley. Alan Hadley's been a real handful for the defence today, hasn't he? Running through again. It was good play by Charlie Williams initially to set him free. But opportunity here for a free kick just on the edge of the box here for Telford.
Yeah, I have to say what I do like about that with Williams there is that move, and Merthyr did it a lot, didn't they? A couple of weeks ago, where the ball's played in and they just sort of spin it round the corner, and Williams he sort of took it to touch, turned his body round, and then Alan Hadley gets in behind, and Hadley's not taking any chances. It wasn't a challenge worthy of a red, but yellow probably the right decision, and Telford have got a free kick about 25 yards from goal, left side of the penalty area. And
Looks
Williams
as
is
though
going to
it
take
might
it.
be Charlie Williams to take.
Yeah, Williams takes it. It's on target, but it's a poor effort in truth. Easy for Matt Irwin to claim that one. That's a new one, isn't it, Ewan? Where the supporters actually count the seconds themselves for how long Matt Irwin takes. I haven't known that one before, have you?
I've not seen that one before, to be honest, but it's nice to see that the supporters are getting involved with the game anyway.
Interesting. Trying to do the referee's job for him, but Callum Jones, to be fair tonight, he hasn't really had any big decisions to make yet.
Well, that foul by Henley was probably the first decision he's had to do all game, really, isn't it? So
Oh, Lesher Bella under pressure here from Lalkovic.
work it well again, though. Telford out wide to Cranston.
Just waits. Tries to beat them both. Henley's got to get a foot in there. Lalkovic is going to come away with it. He just hooks it clear, and it's instant. path of Sampson. He's caught by Oliver Cawthorne. Goes down and wins his side a free kick. And that was important from Sampson to win that free kick almost, just to give Chorley a little bit of respite almost on that counter attack.
Yeah, Owen's come a long way out of his goal here to take the free kick, about 15 or so yards inside the Chorley half. All the big men are forward here for Chorley. It's quite a high line for Telford.
Long from Irwin towards the head of Ellis is flicked on. Not like a certain free kick against Max Wilson there, but nothing given. And Telford tries to come forward again with Alan Hadley. But it looked to me for all the world that Max Wilson had been caught there. But the referee and the linesman certainly on this near side towards you, not interested.
Yeah, I think the only thing going against Max there is that maybe he just goes down a bit too early, possibly. But it did look as though it was a certain foul. It looked as though he'd been clipped. Probably should have been a free kick there for Charlie, but the referee showing no signs of giving it.
Good play from Sampson there. He's sandwiched between two Telford players. Does well, wins the ball. And Henley, though, less convincing. You, the Telford supporters, well, to put it politely, they're giving a bit of abuse to Jack Sampson down there. And Jack, tough cookie, isn't he? No one should be subjected to abuse at a football game as a player, but Sampson seeing the sort of lighter side of it if you sort of can.
Blakeman sends it forwards towards Sampson. It goes past him to Cawthorne.
Nashabella swings the ball towards Alan Hadley, who's on a hat-trick, and Ellis swings a boot at it and continues to throw. Cranston and Milan Lalkovic exchanging a few words there, Ewan. It's getting a bit spicy, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. I think the crowd around us are probably helping add a bit of fuel to the fire as well. As German wins it back, Sampson should get there. He does. There's Clark running ahead of him. He gives it to Warren Clark. Warren Clark now one-on-one with Dyer. This is where we wanted to see him.
Good play from Warren. His touch is a little bit loose there. Just leaves a little bit on Amar Dyer, and he gets a tap on the back and on the shoulder from James Meadows.
Yeah, Dyer's bought the foul there, really, hasn't he? He's done well.
Yeah, just leaves him with his shoulder, Warren, because he lost his touch. Lost control of the ball and then just left one on him and a cheap free kick to give away. It kind of sums up Chorley's night at the minute, just not clicking in that final third, that final touch, that final moment of magic. Clark there, now Chorley trying to come forward again. It's Max Wilson this time. Outnumbered in terms of players around him, does well in the end, finds okay. Now Lalkovic into Owen German. Brilliant from Owen German that time. From the Altrincham man. Lalkovic in behind towards Sampson. Oh. Cawthorne and I think that was Charlie Williams there at doing defensive actions at the back and just enough to sandwich it away from Sampson, but much better from Chorley in there.
Yeah, really good play there for Owen German with a good sort of roulette's getting behind Sampson the way with on the turn, feeds it into Warren Clark inside the penalty area. Clark goes inside, shot.
Oh, it's just about kept out by Josh Gracie. A really good save down low with his left hand, and it'll go behind for a Chorley corner. That's as close as Chorley have gotten tonight.
Yeah, it's good play by Sampson. Gets the ball and turns, runs towards goal. Sees Warren Clark running ahead of him on the left. Feeds it into Clark. Clark cuts in onto his stronger right foot inside the box. Forces a save from Gracie down low to his left. It was going towards that bottom right corner from the way we look at it. But it's a good save though. And a man in goal for Telford.
Yeah, really good save from Gracie. The on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Here comes the corner from Blakeman. Ellis is up, the missed kick in the penalty area. Shot comes in and Chorley have got one back. Taylor O'Kane's got it. 58 minutes gone and we've got a game on our hands here at the SEAH Stadium.
Yeah, it's a corner from Adam Blakeman. It bounced in the box. Telford just can't clear the lines. Eventually falls to O'Kane, and O'Kane makes no mistake and sends it straight into that top corner. and deservedly so at the start of the second half. You have to say Chorley have got one back, and can they push forward here and try and get an equaliser?
Really well taken goal from OK. Just a bit of conviction there. He puts his foot through it right into the top corner, and Chorley back in it here with half an hour or so left to play.
Yeah, really well taken that by Taylor. Probably wasn't expected to come to him in that sort of circumstance in the box. I'm not too sure what happened. It seems as though the ball just sort of stopped dead in the box. It eventually wriggles towards the feet of OK and it hits it on the swivel sort of really in the box and sends it right into the top corner. Gracie with no chance, and Chorley of half the deficit here and of really, really on the ascendancy at the minute.
I think what I would say about that is credit to Taylor for the finish, but that's 3 goals tonight and three mistakes.
Definitely. Chorley trying to bring
Surely,
it forwards again here.
as you say, we'll take a lot of confidence from that goal. And we'll think, look, we've got one back. Why can't we go and get another one?
Poor ball forward by Harvey Smith, but Taylor O'Kane's in there in the midfield to win it back for Chorley. Ball forward by Blakeman. Oh, Clark's not going to be able to keep it in. But I've been really impressed in recent weeks. I think really starting from that Merthyr game with O'Kane's performances in midfield, he's been absolute absolute stalwart in that middle of the park at the minute. Nothing really goes through him at all. He's able to cut out those passing lanes. Must make at least 5 or 10 interceptions per game at the minute. Really, really solid at the minute. Taylor in midfield for Chorley.
Yeah, I can't remember the game, but Chorley I think they were behind in the break and they got the reaction at half time and instant after the restart. And Andy Priest said, look, it shouldn't have to take for us to be behind at half time for us to then to get back into the game and react to it. And it could well become a similar story here. His team have reacted after the restart. Telford haven't looked particularly comfortable, and surely again here coming forward, Sampson in behind, Max Wilson, shot comes in from Warren Cock, deflects, and behind another corner. Surely are pushing, and their supporters who are to our right here, Ewan, acknowledging that, and they're encouraged by it.
But you know what else is happening at the start of the second half? Jack Sampson's seen a lot more of the ball into his feet, which is really, really important. That's how Sample likes it, into his feet, and he has, gets more players into the game. But not only that, Charlie pushed forward an extra 5 or 10 or so yards from midfield, so he's got options around him now, Sample, wherever he gets the ball. We've seen it with Clark and Wilson, and German's getting forward a bit more now as well. Blakeman's over this corner, being outswinger on the far side to us.
Here it comes from Blakey towards the back post. Harvey Smith's free, gets on the end of it, and this time Telford do try and scramble it clear. Warren Clark's got to be wary on the counter. He's done really well. Blakeman puts the ball towards the goalkeeper, and Gracie not wasting any time. Cranston now on the counter for the box. 24 on the ball for Telford. Cranston on the overlap. Comes across and it's missed at the back post. The number 7, Charlie Williams, had the goal at his mercy but couldn't connect. And surely you'll breathe a sigh of relief after that one, Ewan.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, going back to the Charlie corner, I feel as though Harvey Smith could have maybe done a bit better with that header, free header at the back post. He tries to send it back across goal and heads it downwards rather than in the air, and it's easily cleared. Then tell from the counter attack, as you say, ball's put across the box. Williams had all the goal at his mercy. I think in the end, I think it might be Warren Clark who sort of shielded the ball away from him and allowed it to run out towards the far side. But yet again, though, Telford's showing that whenever they do go on the attack, they are a real threat. As Leshabella's gone down here in the middle of the pitch for Telford. That's not good news, that, for the Bucks at all.
It's absolutely not. And in terms of goals elsewhere in the National League, North Spennymoor have doubled their lead away at Leamington. It's Glenn Taylor who's got the goal there. And Leshabella's gone down. Andy Priest at the minute doesn't look to be making any changes. Or having said that, Ewan, look who's taking his shirt off. Papula. Anjola Papula stripped and ready in an instant for Andy Priest. And you
Intrigued to
imagine you,
see who he comes on for here because Sampson has been getting a lot more involved as this game has gone on. Whereas in the first, I think if he had made a change at half time, I think it would have been for definite Sampson coming off. But now Sampson's really finding his mojo in this game. You have to say at the minute he's looking like the man who's going to be able to create those chances for Chorley. So
I
it'll be
think for me,
interesting to see.
if Samson can play 90 minutes, he stays on the pitch for me, I take off Milan Lalkovic and put Max Wilson towards the right-hand side.
But as I say,
Keep,
as the game keeps going on here, Sampson looks to be getting more and more involved. So
yeah, I think he's growing in confidence. It's probably a bit of that match sharpness that's coming into it that he perhaps hasn't had. One example I'd give to that was Jack Griffiths earlier in the season when he started the first 20 minutes, could see he was struggling to get into the game. I think it was a Leamington game, and then all of a sudden, especially after half time, he really settled in and looked really comfortable. Sampson, for me, is really grown into this game, and he looks a real threat, especially when I said at the start of the game, when he's sort of back to goal, twisting and turning. I think he is being replaced, though. Here he is. Yes, Sampson is going to come off after all that, after singing his praises, and Joel Papula is coming on for Sampson.
I think one thing that we will say is though, with Papula coming on, you have got more of that pace really in behind, which Sampson doesn't necessarily have. Papula, like Sampson though, very good on the ball, likes it into his feet as well. We've seen him whenever he gets the ball, he likes to turn and run at defenders. So interesting to see how Papula copes with this game. Coming on and off the bench as well. Probably a new dynamic really for Angier as he comes on.
Yeah. Chance here though for Telford again. Shot comes in, held by Ewan. Really well held. That really important.
Yeah, it's a shot from Remy Walker from just the edge of the box. Saved and held down low well by Ewan.
Like we said earlier in the game against Radcliffe was a bit of a chess match. This one certainly has more of an end-to-end feel to it. Max Wilson now in behind Milan Lalkovic. He's
Oh, that's
taken down
got to
to
be
the
a
penalty area.
penalty,
It's a
yeah.
penalty. Surely have a spot kick. And Jordan Cranston slips inside the penalty area. He gets a yellow, but he slips and takes out Lalkovic. And surely you've got an opportunity here to level it. Wow.
I think you've been generous there by calling that a slip. I think Cranston's just lost a bit of a moment of madness there. I think he thought the ball was there to be won, and he's gone
Well,
to slide and win it, and it's nowhere near the ball. He's wiped out Lalkovic. I think, I'll be honest, if Cranston doesn't do anything there, the ball's probably going to roll all the way through to Gracie, and it's the end of the opportunity for Charlie. But Lalkovic has got the ball in hand, so I mean, it's looking as though he'll be the man to take it for Charlie.
Well, Lalkovic's record in a Chorley shirt from the spot is 1 from 1. The goal away at Workshop, if you remember, Ewan. That was only a consolation, but this is massive.
Yeah,
And in front of an absolutely empty Frank Naggington stand. The Telford supporters at the other end of the ground are trying to do the best to make some noise to put him off, but it's Lalkovic in front of an empty stand. It's Lalkovic versus Gracie. 67 minutes gone.
I have to say he's having a lot of time here to think about it. Lalkovic shows into the referees taking a lot of time here.
Milan Lalkovic
He's been
from 12 yards.
stood there
The
for a minute or
referee
so.
blows his whistle. Here he comes, the Slovakian winger. Lalkovic takes it, sends him the wrong way, and surely a level. Milan Lalkovic from the spot. He wins the penalty, he steps up, he takes it, and surely a level.
Yeah, it's deservedly so in the second half. Charlie have been the team on top. Lalkovic manages to send Gracie down to his left. I think he slots it down the middle in the end. Lalkovic really composed. Penalty. While Slovakia makes up for his mistake leading to the first goal and for Telford in the first half. But Charlie deservedly so here a level. And at the minute, looking as though they might be the team to try and get a winner here. Telford though starting off the game really quickly. Henley steps up and wins it back, giving into the feet of Papula. Here's German. Sent out wide to Warren Clark. Blakeman back into Clark.
It is, again, though, it goes back to that point, isn't it, that Andy Priest will have been really distraught with the way that his side were behind by 2 goals at the break from 2 mistakes, but they've fought back brilliantly. Now Angelo
Papula.
Papula's in behind here. Papula, instead of going for
Oh,
goal, he cuts it back. He could have gone for it with his left there, but instead he unselfishly went to cut it back to Lalkovic. And I just, hindsight's an easy
yeah,
thing to
maybe
say,
maybe
but
he thought the angle was a bit too tight, possibly, as Cranston stepped in and won it, but Mark Ellis steps out and wins it for Chorley. Henley with a good piece of skill there to get around Cranston. Cranston looks to be all on his own here on this left-hand side at the minute. As Harvey Smith steps out from defence, he's running forwards. Goes back to O'Kane, he's behind him now. German. Lalkovic is very central. Into the feet of Max Wilson.
Look at the confidence from Chorley here. Wilson tries to find
Henley's
Henley, but the
offside.
flag's up. Oh. And just here below us, you and the Telford supporters are becoming ever more frustrated. At 2-0, they were thinking it's plain sailing here, and surely quite the opposite. Haven't rolled over, haven't laid down. We were sort of saying at half time, if it becomes 3 after the break, then it's game over. Well, it's certainly not. It's 2 apiece. Papula's on. Chorley looking confident. And Telford are the ones that are under pressure here.
Yeah, I think it's important to say in the league, Telford haven't lost at home since November, so they won't be used to being down or under the cosh as much as they are at the minute. In this game, they've worked it well on the right-hand side. Dyer's bombing down the right wing here for Telford.
It was a really good play from James Meadows to get the
Challenge
ball
though
back.
from Warren
Chorley
Clark.
again, bodies on the line. Warren Clark, he's absolutely everywhere. Wins the ball back, and now Chorley themselves have possession. Will look to try and counter it. Ball's played in behind towards Adam Henley. Charlie Williams left midfield back trying to defend it, and it sets up what could be a thrilling 20 minutes. And Oren Willett says the win is on here. Well, Warren, I certainly hope so, because my feet, I can't feel him at the minute. I don't know about you, but I'm struggling.
Yeah, at least, I think the only silver lining that we can say so far with the weather here today is that it has been an entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant game on the eye. I think, as I say, by no means discrediting Radcliffe and the performance of Chorley at the weekend, but that game was a tactical battle between both teams. A game with very few chances. This one, again, 3 of the 4 goals arguably come down to individual errors, but it's been an open contest. It's been good on the eye, and you can see why Telford are where they are. But Chorley have really shown an awful lot of grit, fight, and determination tonight, and that's what's got them back into this game here, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely so. Second half has been all Chorley really for the majority of it. It's Max Wilson battling there for the ball. He goes down. Referee not showing him any mercy though as Telford come over the ball. Leshabella works it well. And here's Remy Walker. It's a ball in behind here to Hadley.
Alan Hadley beats Ellis in behind. Ellis goes to ground, but luckily his challenge is on it. Warren Clark then nearly sacrifices possession on the edge of his own penalty area, and Blakeman does the sensible thing, goes long towards Papula, and Papula here, very nearly had the better of Oliver Cawthorne, but again, Telford trying to work the ball. Look at this, from back to front, very quickly, end-to-end stuff here. Telford trying to work the ball, but the pass, as you say, Ewan, is poor, and Irwin can come and claim it.
Yeah, we saw though there, Papula's an absolute handful for, I think every defender he's come up against so far this season, been an absolute handful for them, and Piggott at the minute, Papula's gone to that side to try and go one-on-one with Piggott, and Piggott just can't get anything from him at all. He's just rolling Piggott with ease at the minute. Luckily for Piggott there though, Cawthorne's sweeping in behind him, and the Venezuelan defender sort of gets him out of it. Max Wilson playing a bit of a high press. Piggott's supposed to go long.
Good defending from Blakeman there, and I think no, he hasn't. I thought he'd won inside this side of throw. But at the minute, look, 18 minutes plus stoppage left to play, and part of me thinks that this game won't end level. I don't think it will end 2 apiece.
No, not at all.
Which way it goes, I don't know.
Well, both sides are looking to try and win. You can tell that at the minute. Neither side's set up in a defensive sort of way.
Does Andy Priest try and consolidate at some stage and say, right, well, look, we'll take a point here? Because I think a point, he said to me in his, before the game that, we want to go there and we want to get something from the game. He didn't say 3 points. He didn't say a point. He just said we want to get something from the game. Lalkovic here backpedaling. He's got a touch on it and indecisive from Williams, and Lalkovic can get the ball back. Cranston's closest to him. Henley's touch is a little bit loose and he's forced back to Mark Ellis. He's then forced back to Irwin, who fought through it. Papula can't get on the end of it.
Defensive
Both
goal
teams.
there by Harvey Smith, but there's a foul there on O'Kane. Telford fans around us aren't happy with that one at all. I think they thought their side would have been in there had the referee not given the foul on O'Kane.
Yeah, bit of respite for Chorley, a bit of a breather. Jeff, yeah, great game to watch. It's just a shame under the circumstances that we were told to go when you're only round the corner, Jeff, but that's a different story. As you well know. Blakeman here on halfway, hands raised. Free kick lofted towards the penalty area. Smith, free header towards Papula, given time to touch it down. Goes for goal. Warren Clark on the edge of the area. Deep cross towards Mark Ellis.
I think he's offside. I think he was offside,
Look at that. And Owen German puts the ball in on the volley. The flag was already up. It was a brilliant finish from German, wasn't it? But the flag was already up.
I think Mark Ellis is having a go at the linesman. I do think he was just a bit offside when that cross from Warren Clark went in. It was obviously aimed for Ellis at the back post. Telford head clears it away. It falls to German, who hits it on the volley. Too powerful for Gracie to deal with, but the offside, well, the assistant referee on this near side would have had his flag up anyway.
It's a brilliant finish from Owen German, taking us to the. It's been a night, hasn't it, where there's been a lot of volleys tonight.
Yeah. I think that's German's second volley of the game. So in the first half, he had one on the edge of the box, which screamed just wide of the post.
Cranston trying to play it neatly to Williams, finds him down the left-hand side. German's closest to him. Williams gives himself a lot to do. Too much to do, and Irwin can come and claim that one comfortably. And now Chorley will go down the same side where Williams is no longer there. Long ball from German towards Wilson. Cawthorne. Uses his body well and wins the foul.
Yeah, I've been really impressed today with Owen German. He's really put himself about in that midfield, and I'd be sorry about 10 or 15 minutes or so ago. But that roulette that he did in the midfield to get away from two players, probably the best skill we've seen of the day as well.
Yeah, it was really smart. He's got a lot about him, Owen. I didn't really know what to expect from him when he came. He's not the tallest of players, as he's similar-ish height to Max Wilson in that kind of area. And Telford have gifted the ball away here. Blakeman down the left. Clark's gone beyond him. Inside towards Max Wilson, who's got a bit of space. Chorley players are coming here down the right-hand side for Henley. Papula's inside the penalty area if he wants it. Instead, he finds Lalkovic. Great ball behind to Max Wilson. Shot comes in. Gracie has to put it behind for a corner. I think it was going wide, June, but Gracie taking no chances, and surely have got another corner.
Yeah, it was definitely going in behind, but Gracie didn't want to take that chance. I think it's his toe, which is already past the side of the post, which sent out for a corner. Blake was going to come over here to this near side and take it.
Jeff, I have no nails left. I can't really feel my hands, so I do still have some nails left. Just Blakeman nearest to us, in swinging corner to come in. Everybody in there apart from Henley, Clark, and German's on the edge of the penalty area. Here comes Blakeman. It's a deep cross. Mark Ellis is unmarked. Shot comes in. Oh, Mark Ellis, of all players, left unmarked at the back stick. He has that much time for it, Ewan. He goes for it on the volley, and it's just wide.
Yeah, Ellis completely unmarked there, hits it on the volley, looks for a split second. I think like the one similar one in the first half of Samson's volley from Miles. I looked as though it might have hit the back of the net, but in the end it hits the side netting. Agonisingly close from the Magpies once again, but yet again it's looking as though Chorley are the team on top here, and the one's more likely to find a winner.
Oh, so close. It was almost like it was in slow motion, wasn't it? The amount of time Mark had there. Again, Ewan Chorley in the ascendancy here. Blakeman over the top. He finds Max Wilson, and he's been brilliant as well tonight. Absolutely everywhere.
Good play though by Fletcher to come away with the ball for Telford. He gives it to Dyer, puts it through the legs of O'Kane, but Blakeman recovers.
German. Good play. Chorley finding really good pockets of space here. Papula.
Papula's offside.
Oh, he's offside. I thought he'd done it again there, Angiola Papula.
Yeah, just the timing of the run was a bit too early there from Papula, but I do think he's got the beating of both Cawthorne and Piggott here when he gets the ball into his feet.
Chorley are trying it, aren't they? They just keep finding those little pockets of space.
Substitution being made here though for Telford. Can't quite tell.
Yeah, Charlie Williams is coming off, and I think it's Ola Lawal. Could be wrong. That's Ricardo Dinanga.
So the numbers on that on the full officials board look very minuscule from where we're sat here on the opposite side of the pitch.
Oh. Dylan Hadley there with a bit of a aerial battle with Mark Ellis. Bit of shoulder to shoulder, and Telford come off better from it. Captain Fletcher on the ball, spreads the ball out to Jordan Piggott. Telford trying to come forward. Poor touch from Amar Dyer. He's done really well though in the end to beat Warren Clark. Clark's in there though again though, really good from Warren. Now Lalkovic can try and come forward. He's got one to his name. Can he add a second? Can surely go on and win this game?
Foul on Clark by Dyer.
Surely really pushing here, as are Telford, but at the minute, surely the ones
down here again for Telford.
Yeah, surely the ones that are having far more of the chances.
I think it looks as though Leshabelle is going to come off here for. Honestly, I can't make out those numbers for the life of me on the other side.
It's James Armson who's going to come on, I think, for Leshabelle. And again, he was one coming into this game. I thought we need to keep a good eye on, and he's been okay, but we've not had as much of the ball as he wanted. James Armson, a lot of experience. Blakeman, free kick here. Opportunity from a set piece. It's deep towards the back stick, met by Smith. Only as far as Lalkovic. Oh, still alive inside the penalty area. He's put his flag up, but he's had to put it back down because Lalkovic has gone back for the ball himself.
Blakeman crosses.
Oh, it's over deep. Everybody. Yeah, the referee put his flag up, didn't he? But then because Lalkovic went back for the same ball, he had to put his flag back down. Cranston, good run from him.
Foul by O'Kane.
Yeah, Taylor there. I don't know whether he needs to leave his footing on him there.
Well, the Telford fans around us here are asking for a booking for O'Kane. Well, I think the foul on Warren Clark about 2 minutes ago was the exact same. And there was no noise there made whatsoever when Dyer didn't get a booking for that.
And then what I would say is from this game is that surely have had more shots on goal, more corners, and yet they were 2-0 down at half time. You know, they've always been in this game despite the scoreline, and at the minute with the game level, surely they're more likely to get the goal.
You have to say all 4 goals today have come from mistakes. Even the penalty was a mistake for Cranston diving in on Lalkovic. So Lalkovic now appearing up on the left-hand side, wins the ball back for Charlie. He's got to try and release it here. Blakeman sends it forwards.
Against Cawthorne, the on loan man from Accrington Stanley, 18 years of age. Dyer tries to go beyond it, gives it away. O'Kane wins it back that time, no foul. And Smith, very close.
Makes it way to Max Wilson.
Come away with it. German's beyond him in the middle. Finds Papula instead. He's under pressure from Cawthorne.
It's got to be a foul on Papula, it is.
Yeah. Done really well there, Angiola. Papula to use his body and win the free kick.
Yeah, keep saying it. He's got the beating of these two centre-halves here in Piggott and Cawthorne. Papula. think he knows that as well. He's got that confidence about him and that swagger every time he gets the ball. The substitution there in the offing for Charlie. O'Kane's coming off. I want to say for Mike Calvley, so Taylor O'Kane makes way here for Mike Calvley. Probably a bit more of an attacking change from Andy Priest.
I think what Calvary will offer you is more in terms of experience and composure, a lot of legs as well.
Calvley, of course, is a goal threat with his head as he makes his way forwards here in anticipation for this Blakeman free kick.
McCalves became the only player to get double figures as a central midfielder in the National League 2 seasons in a row that anyone's ever seen on record.
2 changes here for Telford as well as both Remy Walker and Jordan Cranston make way. I think now Lawal comes on, and I think the other one to come on is David Solademi, although I'm not too sure. It could be Reece Hilton actually who's come on. Yeah, I think it is Reece Hilton and Lawal who come on.
Yeah, Hilton, very good in the reverse fixture. Here comes Blakeman, another deep free kick towards Ellis. Got to be careful here, Chorley. Done well there, Owen German. It's back to Blakeman again. Same again towards the back post. Ellis is there. Across the face of goal!
You know what? I think he's got to go for that with his head. If he goes for that with his head, it gives both Harvey Smith and Papula enough time maybe to get across the back. Said he volleys it, rifles it across goal, and Papula and Smith just aren't quick enough. Not really given enough chance to get across there.
If it's a couple of yards closer to the players, there's a chance that one of them slide in and get a touch on the end of it. I think it was the right idea for Mark from where I'm sat. I know you say he could have gone with his head, but it was just into that corridor of uncertainty, but just not too much on it. Long ball played from Meadows, and it's comfortable for Irwin.
Meadows is playing as a fullback now, isn't he? With Denanga ahead of him, it looks as though maybe Telford have gone with potentially a bit of a 4-4-2 here as we enter the closing stages of the game.
Free header for Telford man today. Get over on Papula. Telford have got a throw now on halfway. 86 minutes gone here. Plus whatever we'll get in terms of stoppages. I will say, Ewan, there haven't been particularly many big stoppages. Obviously, the penalty was one, but there haven't been many sort of stoppages for injury. So we may only get 3 or 4 here.
Yeah, only really, other than Leschavella going down a couple of times in the second half, there hasn't been many stoppages whatsoever.
And that's what Calvely's offering you here, is that high press on Lawal, who's just come on, and Telford again. We'll try and make things happen.
It seems like it's a bit of a free-for-all on this left-hand side for Telford. Lawal, Meadows and Denanga are all interchange with where the position is. Fletcher brings it forwards.
Here is Lawal. Now Meadows.
Comes off the hand of Clark.
His arm's down and in a natural position for me, and it just strikes the arm, and the referee gives a free kick. And I think if he gives the free kick there, and Chorley concede from Andy Priest will be absolutely livid with that decision, because there was nothing that Warren could do about that at all. Meadows is going to take it from that left-hand side. Everybody back for Chorley apart from Papula. One-man wall of Lalkovic. Chorley, you've got to stay switched on here. It's a poor delivery. It hits against Lalkovic. Edge of the penalty area.
Hilton.
Meadows again. Comes inside this time, does really well. Meadows still alive. Cleared by Lalkovic. Papula will try and chase the lost goals, and Chorley need to get out of here.
I think Pickett's come wide here, and he's giving it straight to Harvey Smith. Smith sends it forwards. Papula. He's cleared away by Blakeman.
Yeah, but Telford will come again here, and Telford haven't really been at it in the second half, but you know what they can pose in terms of threat on the transition, on the counter. And the supporters here in Shropshire are getting behind them. Good play that
challenge.
from Calvary, brilliant. Oh, Lalkovic touches too heavy, gives the ball away. End-to-end stuff here, 88 minutes gone. It's still Telford 2, Chorley 2.
Hopeful ball down the line here from Fletcher looking for Dyer. Blakeman's going to get there and he sends it out towards Clark. Telford again though regain possession. It's Armson sent out wide to Dyer. It's a deep cross looking for Dinanga here at the back post. He'll get to it.
1v1 with Adam Henley. Edge of the area to Meadows. Shot comes in. Blocked off Ewan. Still, oh my goodness me. It would have really been the hardest of blows against Chorley had that have somehow gone in, but the ball was just ricocheting like a ping pong ball in the penalty, like it was on a pinball table. And fortunately for Chorley, it goes behind for a Telford corner.
It's a corner here for Telford. It's James Armson over the corner.
Taking the time, they've got a short option, although
And
they've
he's
now
decided
changed
to
their
let it go
mind.
for Fletcher. Unless, has he done the roll here? No, he hasn't. Never mind. I thought maybe Armson might have done the tactic there where you roll it and allow someone to run over and take it straight away, but instead it's going to be Fletcher to take the corner.
Here it comes towards the front post, headed away by Blakeman, who gets straight back in, and Telford have got all their supporters behind that goal. They're rallying them on. Some supporters behind us, and they're either on their phones. They're thinking this could be a moment that decides the game.
Hilton drives inside.
Still
Still
got it.
Hilton.
Shot comes in straight at Matt Owen.
Interesting to see how many minutes the full official adds on here as we enter the closing stage of the game. Irwin sends it forward looking for Papula. Papula, it goes past him, it goes all the way through to Gracie and goal for Telford.
A big goal at the bottom end of the table. Hereford have taken the lead from the penalty spot against Darlington, as Irwin's got to come for this one.
Four officials adding on, I think, 5 minutes from what I can tell from here.
I'll wait for the man on the tannoy to make the announcement. I think you're right. Unchallenged
Touchdown there by Max Wilson. Hopeful ball forward here though from Telford. Harvey Smith still with it. There's an offside flag up though against Alan Hadley, so it'll be a free kick for Chorley deep inside their own half.
No word of how many minutes you're in, but I think we're probably looking at, as you say, 4 or 5. Irwin's taken his time to go over and take this free kick following the offside.
Probably be another minute added on here because that's how long it's taken Irwin to come over to take this free kick.
Yeah. 30 seconds easily from Matty there, but maybe some of that is a case of consolidating. Long from Irwin, headed on towards Papula. Still got it here, Lalkovic. Maybe one more chance for Chorley here. You never know. Lalkovic, again, found by Blakeman. Headed towards the penalty area. Warren Clark bends up a challenge towards the back post. Papula was lurking in there. It was, again, into the corridor of uncertainty.
And now Telford bring it forward here through Meadows. It's cut out by Owen German. It's going to go out for Telford throw, literally just in front of us here. Inside the Telford half. Meadows has gone about an extra 10 yards forward from where it was, and he's been allowed to take it.
Warren Clark closest to Amar Dyer. It's a bit of a slack touch, but he gets away with it. Inside comes substitute Hilton. Fletcher, the captain, under pressure from Chorley, plays in.
They've got a bit of an overload
here. Meadows, as you mentioned, balls in towards the penalty area. Looks like it came off a hand. Henley's on body on the line stuff here.
It's a good block.
Another corner to Telford. At one stage there from where we're sat at the reverse, and I thought that might have been off a hand.
Yeah, I thought I saw a hand in there, but I mean, given there were no appeals, I'm assuming there was nothing doing. It's a corner though here for Telford. I can't quite make out who's over it. It's a left footer on the far side.
He comes in swinging.
It's met by
Headed over.
It's met by Armson. He's the free man at the front post there, and he's generated all he had to do was generate the direction. The power was there for him. Warren Clark's gone down with a bit of cramp here, but Armson free header, front post. Just a bit too much height on it.
They're really not happy, the Telford supporters, with Warren Clark. Yeah, I'm not happy at all. Warren is now being looked at by our physio, Dan Tattersall. Just like to mention as well, while we're on air, a happy birthday to our kitman, Stuart McChain. Stuart didn't take too nicely to me wishing him a happy birthday earlier today, but for those listening, Stuart does an awful lot of work behind the scenes. You know, he was a big reason why our game on Saturday went ahead. So, from me, happy birthday, Stuart.
I think a change has been made here by Andy Priest. Warren Clark, when he gets to his feet, is going to be taken off here for Jack Moore.
Jack Moore.
So is Jack Moore playing left wing here, I think, for the last minute or so, maybe? I mean,
Well,
I'm sure the referee might allow an extra 2 minutes here, possibly.
He's certainly got a bit of a boomerang on him, Jack, when he wants it. Tense stuff here at the SEAH Stadium. Harvey Smith puts his foot through it, but he doesn't get the connection that he wanted. And it's going to go behind for a throw to the box on halfway again. They're trying to make that extra bit of space count. Down the left-hand side, it's Dinanga. 1v1 with Adam Henley. Larkovic is coming to help out if he can. Meadows has offered a bit of space. Edge of the penalty area towards Fletcher. In behind. Chance here for Telford, but they can't take it. And that's a really tame effort from Dinanga, Ewan.
Yeah, really good play by Telford. He meant to work it from back to front initially, but it's played into the box as a pass into Dinanga. He's got a lot of time to think about it, and it's a real tame effort, low, soft and low, straight to the feet. And there when he just gathers it with ease.
But, Ewan, 5 minutes have been played, and Chorley have got a free kick here. It's definitely not in shooting range, but you just never know, do you? Could this be last chance, last roll of the dice for both teams?
Hopefully it's a repeat of what happened at Merthyr, that's all I'll say.
Blakeman over the ball. Swings it deep. Ellis the target. Ellis gets ahead on it, but it's a soft contact, and it's a goal kick.
Telford take it quickly, and Cawthorne's going to send it long, looking for Hadley. Henley's going over to meet him. Hadley with his back to goal here, trying to roll Henley. Maybe no, he goes back to Lawal.
There's the substitute, Lawal, left-hand side. Puts it across the face. Beyond everyone. Comes across, and the full-time whistle blows. And after all that, Ewan, a deserved point for the Magpies on the road against the informed team in the division, and at 2-0 down, you bite your hand off at that.
Yeah, definitely. A good performance in the second half from Chorley in particular, but I think the important thing today is that there were two big mistakes made by both teams, and that's where the 2 goals came for both clubs as well. Really well taken goal by Taylor O'Kane and the penalty by Larkovic, but in the end, lots of positives to take away from this game for Andy Priest and his side, and we'll look towards Saturday.
Yeah, listen, I think at 2-0 down, you're worrying, aren't you? You're thinking, could this become 3? Could this become 4? Telford had the wind in the sails in that first half, but Andy Priest got a really good reaction out of his side after the restart. And at one stage, Chorley looked like they're the only team who were going to go on and win it. So, all said and done, a point on the road, happy days. And now we can look ahead to Saturday's long trip away at Bedford. So, from me, Pete, and from you. And thanks to everyone, as always, for listening in this evening. We really appreciate it, especially on a cold Tuesday night in Shropshire. But from the pair of us, we'll be back this weekend away at Bedford.